fare no, 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 go, no. Sky ever be this one. Gonna go. Yeah. La bacchetta magica?
No, no, papà la voleva, Papà la voleva proprio.
Gli dà papà? Gli regala papà?
No, papà è il sogno della sua vita, proprio diceva una bacchetta magica a forma di cuore scintillante. Vero? Per andare in giro e mostrarla a tutti i suoi amici. È mia?
No.
E di chi è?
Che brutta.
Ah, così dice mamma. Queste cose dice mamma. È brutto, ma io allora me la prendo, l'ho pagata io. Chi l'ha pagata?
Io.
Chi l'ha pagata? Chi l'ha Chi l'ha pagata? Chi è bella? Chi è bella? Chi è bella? Chi è bella? Diana? Diana, chi è bella? Chi è bella? Oh! Oh, guarda che non si gioca. Chi è bella? Chi è bella? Chi è bella? Allora fanno il cerchietto da gattina. Sono più bella ora? Sono bella? Adesso come sono? Bella?
Sì.
Ah, allora te lo puoi riprendere.
Adesso.
Già te la sei dimenticata.
Adesso.
Che adesso cosa?
Adesso andiamo a guardare la TV.
Adesso stiamo andando a fare la spesa. Andiamo a vedere che vai a dire papà, papà andiamo a fare la spesa, guarda papà, vai a dire.
Non voglio fare la TV.
Non vuoi andare a Conad?
No.
Ah, per guardare la TV ancora troppo presto, eh? La TV la guardiamo dopo. Ok?
Campanario. Andiamo molto freddo.
Sì.
Dai, lo facciamo così. E bella.
Per terra io non gli do apro. Vai, suona tu, vai. Scegli una canzone? Brava, suoni tu.
Cosa dai?
Questa che cos'è? Jingle Bell. Jingle Bell, jingle all the way. Canta con me. Oh, what fun, there is no one, run stop and play. Oh, ma che bel castello, ma con dirondello. Ma che bel castello, ma con dironda. Nel mio cuore più bello, ma con dirondello.
Chi è?
Che cos'è?
Cavallo.
Un cavallo.
Dov'è il campanario? E tu apro così, così. Cos'è?
Questa che cos'è? Madame Doré. No, non conosco la canzone.
Dov'è il campanario? Campanario dove tu? Dov'è il campanario? Dov'è il campanario? Dov'è il campanario? Eccolo. Campanario. Suoni tu. Suoni tu. Suoni tu. Solo le campane, solo le campane, dido da, dido da,
Din don dan.
ecco le campane, ecco le
Brava! Questo ho visto che c'è il prete che suona la campana e fa din don dan. Din don dan.
guarda,
Che belli, guarda quanti preti stanno dentro la chiesa e cantano. Fra martiro,
guarda,
il prete,
guarda,
i preti. C'è anche quello che suona al pianoforte, hai visto?
devi togliere le cappe, babà,
Ok.
devi togliere le cappe tanto.
Pure io? Aspetta che sono sporche sotto perché per terra è bagnato. Mi si è brigliata meglio.
Un sasso.
C'era un sasso? Oh, mannaggia. Che dolore, sassolino, che dolore.
Siamo carta? Siamo carta.
C'è la carta anche là dentro?
Sì.
Sicura?
Ecco, eccola. È qua.
Tra le mie braccia dormirai serenamente. No, Diana, stai attento, quella non è carta, eh. Quella devi rimanere dentro la scarpa. Papà,
No, ti l'ho calato tu.
te l'ho regalato... Ah, è vero, questo sì, te l'ho regalato io, hai ragione. Il libro degli animali. Brava, ti ricordi sempre tutto.
Un cavallo?
Sì. Cavallo che ha fatto rotto, 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 rotto.
Dov'è? Lui?
Questi sono i...
Guarda.
Chi è? Una mucca!
Banda.
Sta mangiando forse la mela? O la
No.
carota che mangia?
Faccio la colonna.
Mamma mia.
No, non vado a colonna. E così io vado la colonna.
Sì?
Sì. No, senti la voce.
Lo senti? Lo senti questa voce? Chi è?
Una foto.
Una foca! È una foca! Ah, ah. Ah. Adesso cerca il coccodrillo. Non lo so, cercalo tu.
Salute, salute.
Grazie.
Salute.
La balena ti tacca dell'acqua.
La balena?
La balena ti tacca dell'acqua.
Brava, esatto.
Ti raccoglie.
Si fa ciuffo, si fa i tuffi, fa. Fa i tuffi.
Devo togliere la giacca.
Papà, tra poco andiamo a fare la spesa.
Sì. Inizia a piovere piano piano.
Babà,
Vabbè, tanto...
vedagli.
Giulio. Piove, piove, poi smette, poi ricomincia.
Vedagli.
Vuoi togliere? Stampana devi rimettere però, che tra un po' usciamo, eh. D'accordo, Diana? Vuoi salire? Vuoi salire?
Wow.
Che di balena?
Una balena.
Una balena. E senti, poi mi fa sentire il fenicottero. Mi fa sentire il fenicottero.
Ok.
È l'uccello quello rosa, il fenicottero.
Qual è?
È l'uccello rosa, il fenicottero. Brava. Lo sai che il fenicottero è un uccello? Però non vola come gli altri uccelli.
No.
Non vola il fenicottero, no. La scimmetta?
No.
Non ti va la scimmetta?
Dov'è?
Vediamo un po' se chi la trova per prima.
Eccola.
L'hai trovata? Wow! Quella è lo scimpanzé, è una scimmia enorme. Sì. Prova a trovare la scimmietta più piccola.
Dov'è?
Vedete questa? Vuoi un po'?
No. Guarda.
Guarda, si fa vedere anche da qua. Eccola la scimmetta piccolina. Poi possiamo sentire il pappagallo.
Dov'è?
E questo rosso?
No.
No. Il coniglio? Lo vedi? Che mangia la carota?
Sì.
Vediamo il coniglio.
Sì. Dai, 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 dai. Guarda, guarda. Guarda.
Sì.
Dov'è il cavallo? Dov'è il cavallo, mamma?
Non lo vedo. Tu lo vedi?
No. Dov'è? Nella foto di sesta.
Mhm.
Dov'è? Qui. Eccolo!
La mosca! Quella è una mosca.
Ma con cavallo.
Che va al galoppo. Ti ricordi tu che sei andata al galoppo? Te lo ricordi?
Sì. Guarda.
Ehi, ti stai spogliando. Ah! Aiuto, eh? Mhm. Boh. Guarda che ti mangio, eh. Che dolore. Ah, che dolore. Au. Ouch, au. Ah, mamma. Mi fai male. Giada, non mi tirare i capelli, mi fai male. Sì, mi cazzocchi, dai. Mi fai male. Ecco, sei vivo?
Chi è? È papà? Che fatta? Le botte?
No, mi sa che stavo montando il mobile.
Sta dando botte. Oh,
Ah. No, amore, stai attento, amore, qua sopra si cade, eh. Ok? Dai. Ma a te che piacciono tanto le giostrine, no? Ma perché non vai a vedere il cagnoletto come ti fa saltare quando ci vai?
Dov'è il caglioletto?
Eccolo.
Mamma, ti giuravo una donna ieri.
vedere qual è dal più grande al più piccolo. Io un'idea ce l'ho. Brava. Esatto. Poi brava, il verde. E poi il rosa. Brava. E poi il viola. E poi guardati bene intorno. Guarda dietro di te. Che cos'è? Forte. E poi? Guarda un po', che colori c'ha? Come sono i colori davanti a te? Sono i più grandi? Quali sono? Sì! Poi? Mm. Secondo te qual è il più grande? Qui prova? No. Vedi, togli solo quello giallo, brava. Riprova? Riprova, mettilo, riprovaci. Brava! Hai azzeccato. Adesso qual è il più grande? Quello è piccolo piccolo. Mi sa di no. Prova gli altri. Provaci. Mi sa di no. Prova con qualcos'altro. L'hai provato poco fa, eh? Non mi sa di no. Secondo me gli altri entrano prima, sono più grandi. Prova? Provaci, mettilo. Yeah! Guardati dietro di te. Non lo so, non mi sembra adatto. Secondo me c'è qualcun altro che funziona meglio, più grande. Quanti colori ti sono rimasti? Quanti colori ti sono rimasti, Diana? Vediamo un po'. Yeah! Ottimo! Ottimo! E ora ti sono rimasti due colori, rosa e verde. Qua, dietro la scarpa di mamma. Sono piccoli? Ma prova a metterli perché quelli piccoli adesso vanno quelli piccoli. Però secondo me va prima l'altro. Prova un po'. Yeah! Ora ha fatto bene, vero? Yeah! Boom boom. Vai, 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 vai. Bidi, bibadibi. Yeah! Addosso. Allora, che cosa desideri tu nella vita? Vuoi la magia? Esprimi un desiderio. Esprimi un desiderio. Vai, fammi vedere tutti i talenti, tutto quello che sai fare. Attenzione, fare il talento?
No. Accendi. Togliamo. Togliamo la cucina. Qua. Guarda. Saka che dentro. Sacca
Cosa
fuori.
dentro? Questo è un talento.
Sacca dentro.
Salta fuori.
Fuori.
Salta dentro.
Sacca
Salta fuori.
dentro.
Sì.
Sacca fuori.
Sì. Salta fuori.
No! Tu no.
Piano sì.
Sacca dentro. Sacca fuori.
Opla. Sei bravissima. Poi fammi vedere un altro talento. Sai fare lo scivolo?
Vado.
Sai fare lo scivolo?
Ok.
Mi sembra, eh?
Adesso ne fa te, papà.
Che ma tu sei un talento, mamma non lo sa fare, tu sei brava.
Adesso ne così.
Opla! Boom boom boom.
Facciamo il giusto cattivo.
Come?
Facciamo il giusto cattivo.
Vuoi fare il lupo cattivo?
No.
Mi fai vedere come fare i caprioli? Io voglio vedere il tuo talento. Io voglio vedere il tuo talento.
Sì. Dalla. Come deve vedere? Dall'occo. Guarda, 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 guarda.
È scivolata così, pure questo è un talento.
Allora,
Ma sai fare anche la ranocchietta?
sì,
Bella.
guarda, io faccio un talento così, proprio così fa.
Brava. Ma la sai fare anche la capriola?
Sì,
Fammi
tu
vedere.
hai trovato la viola?
La sai fare?
Guarda,
Sì?
facciamo la pesa.
Andiamo a fare la pesa.
La pesa, facciamo male.
Ok, arrivo, eh.
100 sms a soli 8,99 € al mese. Attiva ora.
Nero Giardini. Calzature e accessori made in Italy di qualità.
As forced on by Enzo Fernandez, and Arsenal getting their first few touches of the game with David Raya inside of his own 18-yard box, clipping it down towards this right-hand side with bukayo. Saka tries to challenge on Levi Colwill. Colwill wins the header. Enzo Fernandez has got a bit of room to drive forward here on this left-hand side. Rain absolutely pouring down in southwest London. Of course, Storm Babbitt really hitting the United Kingdom hard, and you can see the effects of it at the moment. Several games across the Football League have been cancelled today. This one, of course, was never going to be cancelled, but it's certainly rainy and miserable conditions for the players to play in. We're going to hope the football can really cheer up the mood as Thiago Silva clicks one over the top for Raheem Sterling to give chase to on this right-hand side. Pressure from his former Man City teammate Alexander Zinchenko. He's inside that 18-yard box though, and trying to wriggle past the Ukrainian. Plays it in towards Conor Gallagher. Nice touch by Gabriel just to nurse the trouble for a second. Caicedo wings it back. Gallagher trying to find an effort to get one on goal. Good block by Ben White. Fernandez's effort just over the crossbar, but Chelsea with a really good opportunity there in the opening 60 seconds of this game. It's going to be an Arsenal goal kick in the end, but it's a really good little bit of play there on that right-hand side. Just clipped over towards Raheem Sterling, held the ball up well, then Zinchenko came away with it. Caicedo wins it back. Zinchenko giving it away cheaply inside of his own 18-yard box. First shot came in from Gallagher on that left foot of his, about 12 yards out. Good block by Ben White. Only as far as Enzo Fernandez, who really rushed at his effort, trying to bend it in towards that top right corner. Just got slightly over the top of it. Arsenal goal kick in the end as they've got a bit of time to reset and try and slow this game down. Play at their pace. David Raya clips it long down towards his right-hand side, towards Gabriel Jesus. Colwill wins that second header of the game as Palmer goes up against Jorginho in the middle of the pitch. Good bit of play there by Gabriel Martinelli, knocking it back towards William Saliba, and Arsenal trying to take control. But Cole Palmer snags it back here, poorly given away there by Declan Rice. Palmer now in towards Raheem Sterling, behind Raheem Sterling though. Palmer picks up the loose ball. Gusto now on this right-hand side. Not really two options in the Chelsea penalty, in that Arsenal penalty area in Chelsea blue colours. Palmer now on this right-hand side. Gusto just trying to shift past Gabriel Martinelli. That Arsenal backline really holding firm. We saw how well they did Arsenal defensively against Manchester City, so Chelsea know it's going to be a really tough task to try and break down this Arsenal side. Mikel Arteta is on the edge of his technical area, barking orders already at William Saliba, who wins the ball back past Moises Caicedo. Mudryk putting a bit of pressure on the Frenchman, just trying to keep it in play. Nice little touch there between the two of them. But Arsenal really giving it away cheaply at the moment. They do need to be careful here. Saliba in towards David Raya, who flips it long, straight down the middle of the pitch towards Gabriel Jesus. It's over his head, and it's met by his fellow Brazilian Thiago Silva. We can all take a break here. 3 minutes played. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. You're listening to Sammy SK Football in association with the Coventry Zone. It's currently Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0, and Chelsea really starting the better of the two sides, as Lorraine says there in the comments section. Cucurella now moving forward on this left-hand side. Mudryk trying to play it in towards Conor Gallagher. Well nicked though by Gabriel Jesus, and he's just trying to, again, keep on saying this about Arsenal. They want to slow this pace down. Chelsea have started like a house on fire at the moment. They've really come out the blocks quickly, and they're putting a bit of pressure on William Saliba on the edge of his own penalty area. But now Arsenal getting a slight bit of a foothold in this game. We saw it against Manchester City. City really started really strongly, but Arsenal just seemed to grow into the game, to be honest, and now they're just trying to manipulate that same kind of football here at Stamford Bridge. You can see there, Tim, I appreciate that nice comment as well. As Patricia is saying, my prediction is Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. Do keep your predictions flowing through the comment section. If Arsenal were to win as well, they do go top of the Premier League before Tottenham play on Monday night against Fulham, other neighbours from southwest London, Chelsea's neighbours, and of course another London derby. It's been a series of derbies across the Premier League really, as Ben White moves it on towards this right-hand side with bukayo. Saka. Of course, we had the Merseyside derby earlier where Liverpool came out victors, winning 2-0 in the lunchtime kick-off British Standard Time, as Gabriel has it on this left-hand side, clipping it over the top towards Alexander Zinchenko. Well intercepted though by Gusto. Declan Rice trying to pick up the loose ball. He's got pressure from his England teammate Raheem Sterling, and he's able to come away with it there. Sterling's done really well. Played it in towards Caicedo, and these two really know each other quite well, don't they? And there's a good bit of play there by Raheem Sterling, and now Moises Caicedo tries to play it in towards Conor Gallagher, but Jorginho reads the field of play, and Arsenal once again back in possession on this left-hand side. Doolittle reckons they will end Chelsea, who did beat Burnley in their last fixture 4-1 at Turf Moor. They went 1-0 down in that game, but it was a really resolute second half. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino worked out what he wanted this side to do, and they really came out a completely different side to what we saw in the first half. It was a very good display by Chelsea, who were slowly starting to find their form. A slow start to the season, you'd have to say, but back-to-back wins. And if they were to claim a win today, it'd be 3 consecutive victories for the first time since October last year. Cucurella draws a foul from bukayo, saka, and it's going to be a free kick on this deep left-hand side, deep inside of Chelsea's half. 5 minutes played, Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. TDB records reckons it will be Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. Do give me your thoughts on who will be the goal scorers in this game as well. Bukayo Saka has got 4 goals in his last 7 Premier League games. Gabriel Jesus just the 1 goal so far this year, as well as Gabriel Martinelli with just the 1 goal. But I was talking about those substitute options that both these sides have. Arsenal with the likes of Leandro Trossard that they could bring on. Kai Havertz, if he comes on, he'll make his 100th Premier League appearance. Gabriel Martinelli, who is starting, we haven't seen too much of him, who's also making his 100th Premier League appearance too. The ball is at William Saliba's safe feet on this right-hand side, just trying to force a play forward in towards Jorginho. Ben White takes over now on the halfway line now for Arsenal, plays it in towards Bukayo Saka. These two link up so well, but Marc Cucurella steps in on Bukayo Saka, who has stayed down there. Chelsea not looking to try and put the ball out though, as Mudryk comes forward here. Jorginho with the challenge on the Ukrainian. Cucurella now in towards Enzo Fernandez. Bit of room for the Argentinian to turn. Plays it in towards Caicedo. Cole Palmer's come deep to come and pick this one up. The former Man City man on this right-hand side trying to roll through. Raheem Sterling in behind. Perfectly weighted ball there by Palmer. Sterling in towards the Arsenal penalty area now, trying to cut it back towards Enzo Fernandez. Declan Rice clears, and suddenly there's the real cheer across Stamford Bridge at the moment. They're really happy with how their side have started. Gabriel Jesus is trying to lower the atmosphere as he nicks it off of Cole Palmer and tries to play it in towards Martin Odegaard. Late challenge there by Palmer. Wouldn't be surprised if our referee today, Chris Kavanagh, comes back and books the Englishman as Gabriel Martinelli moves forward here on this left-hand side. Got pressure from Gusto in front of him. Good bit of play there by Martinelli, just working his way up the field. Plays it back towards Declan Rice. I think Gabriel Jesus is still down over there, and William Saliba knocking it back towards Martin Odegaard. He has stayed down there, the Brazilian. William Saliba just knocking in towards Gabriel, who is, I think, just pausing field of play for a moment. He's holding that right ankle of his. Cole Palmer really laying one onto his former Man City teammate. Gabriel Jesus just nicks it back, and he came forward here, and it's a really late challenge actually by Cole Palmer. His studs are high, and he's gone down the back of the right ankle, of Gabriel Jesus. It's a poor challenge by Cole Palmer. If it was a bit higher, VAR would have a close look at this one. It probably should be a yellow card, but Chris Kavanagh didn't give it in real time, and he hasn't come back for the yellow card initial. No, he has come back. Sorry, my apologies. He has come back for the initial yellow card. If it was a bit higher, it certainly would be referring to the VAR team with Jared Giller and his assistant VAR, Darren Can. But that was a high challenge by Cole Palmer. He gets away with one, but really laying his mark there on Gabriel Jesus. Good to see you, Bobby, in the comment section as well. As I can see that you're saying that Arsenal, he's hoping for an Arsenal 1-0 win. Trickshot saying I think the Chelsea lads are starting to gel. TDP thinking that Saka and Martinelli might score. Trickshot predicting a Chelsea 2-1 win. Tim saying Arsenal 2-0 as they're in possession here on this right-hand side. In towards Bukayo Saka. Again, pressure from Marc Cucurella, who is really snapping at the heels of Bukayo Saka. It's going to be a Chelsea throw-on this left-hand side. He's really just tight to Bukayo Saka. The second the Englishman ever gets to his feet, and he's trying to turn and wriggle past the Spaniard right up against him. He's done really, really well so far, Marc Cucurella. Was saying he's impressed while playing in that right-back role, and Chelsea, believe it or not, despite having 2 right-backs, we're short of right-backs with a Reece James injury and a Malo Gusto suspension. He impressed well in that right-back position, and he gets to start in left-back today. Martinelli driving forward here in towards Odegaard, about 25 yards from the Chelsea goal. Gabriel Martinelli on this far right-hand side. Conor Gallagher nips it back, and he's able to dribble it forward for Chelsea on this left-hand side. In towards Enzo Fernandez. Nice little pass in towards Cole Palmer as Declan Rice brings him down. Enzo Fernandez is complaining for a yellow card, and so is Cole Palmer. And Palmer needs to be a little bit careful here. He's gone straight into the face of Chris Kavanagh, as well as 4 other players in blue. They're all demanding that the former West Ham man and the former Chelsea youth prodigy of Declan Rice does pick up a booking here. Just having a look again, Enzo Fernandez plays it in towards Cole Palmer. Can really understand the Chelsea players' frustrations. He was driving forward, he was just about to get past the halfway line and run on towards that Arsenal backline. So probably later, at a later stage of the game, it probably would be a yellow card. But Chris Kavanagh is keeping his cards in his pocket for Declan Rice. Still only the 1 yellow card so far in the game, going towards Cole Palmer. And no goals in this game as well. Currently in the ninth minute, Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. Levi Cole giving it away very cheaply there on the edge of his own penalty area. Caicedo is there to help him out, as well as Enzo Fernandez. It's at the defeat of Ben White there. It was really poor play by Levi Cole. Well, maybe it's I was talking about the conditions early doors, how it probably will be a bit slippy out there for the players on show. He was just trying to play it out on towards this left-hand side, and he completely lost his footing, kicked the ball with his right foot before trying to play out from the back with his left. Not what Mauricio Pochettino on the touchline would want to see. Ben White now on this right-hand side. Now still ball in towards bukayo saka. Again, Cucurella right up against the Englishman, and he nicks it over in two. Conor Gallagher trying to keep possession, plays it through the legs of bukayo saka, and now Alexander Zinchenko fouling his Ukrainian compatriot on the halfway line, and he will be the second yellow card in Chris Kavanagh's book. 10 minutes played. Alexander Zinchenko going in towards that yellow card as well. If you're just joining us, listening to Semi Escape Football in association with the current presenters, currently Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. No real meaningful chances apart from that slight Enzo Fernandez half chance to talk about so far. Just a couple yellow cards, but a cagey affair so far, as we probably expect between these two sides. Robert Sanchez has it inside of his own 6-yard box. Poor touch there by Sanchez. He's able to clip it out left towards Mudryk. Lovely flick on there by the Ukrainian in towards Conor Gallagher, and now he can drive forward here. Cole Palmer now racing forward on this right-hand side. Chelsea with numbers forward here. Raheem Sterling on this far right-hand side. Gusto's overlapping. Sterling's ball in towards Mudryk again, and there's complaints for a handball towards William Saliba. And I'm not going to lie, in real time, this really did look like handball. Gallagher and Enzo are screaming at Chris Kavanagh here. Of course, the VAR team with Jared Gillett and Darren Cam will be having a look at this. Mudryk has come steaming in, and he's headed it towards goal. It's come off the left arm, in my opinion, of William Saliba. We'll have to check again. But from real time, that looked like a penalty. We'll have to wait for confirmation, have to wait to see. Declan Rice is moving forward now on this left-hand side, playing it in towards Gabriel Martinelli. He's able to cut inside, and he's trying to draw a foul. Moises Caicedo comes away a bit in towards Thiago Silva. Suddenly, this game has gone up a level. Gusto now on this far right-hand side, playing it back towards Robert Sanchez. The VAR team continued to look at this, as it's at the feet of Robert Sanchez inside of his own 18-yard box. Plays it in towards the veteran Thiago Silva on this far right-hand side. Started every single game for Chelsea so far this season, Thiago Silva, despite being at the age of 39. Robert Sanchez on the penalty spot now, clipping it straight down on towards this left-hand side when Mudryk tries to chase after Ben White. Bukayo Saka's happy to keep that ball in. Cucurella has gone straight through the back of Bukayo Saka, and now they are pausing. Quite interestingly here, they let the play run on. So this is the first time the ball has gone out of play in the last 60 seconds, and Chris Kavanagh is being referred to the VAR screen. I said in real time, this really did look like a penalty. William Saliba's arm is up, and we saw it earlier in the Merseyside derby with Michael Keane, where the ball was played in towards the area, and it was his right arm. It was way out of his natural body position, and it was given as a penalty. Having a look at this one again, William Saliba's left arm is very high, and it's Mudryk's header that causes the ball to really be deflected out from William Saliba's left arm. In my opinion here, this should be a Chelsea penalty, and the opportunity for the Blues to go 1-0 up in this game. I mean, Chris Kavanagh is having a long look at this one. Mudryk has done so well, to be honest. He's done it from the flick on, and from that flick on and from the move, it's been played out towards Raheem Sterling on that right-hand side. Great ball in by the Englishman too. Mudryk came steaming in, 2 headers. He's not known for his heading ability as the Ukrainian, but 2 really good, important headers. Now he's having a long look at this one, Chris Kavanagh, still waiting to see if he will give a spot kick here for the home side. It's a great header by Mykhailo Mudryk, and Chris Kavanagh again taking his time. He shakes his head from Gabriel, who's protesting that it shouldn't be a penalty, but a penalty is given. And certainly Arsenal have come into this game in heaps of form. They've loved this fixture in the past. They've won 6 of their past 7 matches against Chelsea in all competitions, and now suddenly this game has completely been, well, it hasn't really been turned on its head. It's been a very even start, you'd have to say, for the 2 sides, and a spot kick, it could potentially change the game here in the opening 13-14 minutes or so. Thank you, appreciate that, Jarrell. So see who will take this penalty. I believe it will be Cole Palmer to line this up. He's been heavily involved so far. Cole Palmer put that late challenge on Gabriel Jesus early doors, picked up what I like to call a strong yellow card. Certainly is a yellow card. If it's any higher, he's at the risk of potentially picking up a red card. David Raya just really taking his time to go back towards onto his goal line. That Arsenal away and right in front of where Cole Palmer is about to take this spot kick. So it's going to be Cole Palmer from 12 yards to potentially give Chelsea the lead here in this London derby. Palmer, who we know is quite convincing from the penalty spot. We saw him score against Burnley last time out, and he has the opportunity here from 12 yards to give Chelsea the lead against Arsenal. It's Cole Palmer from 12 yards against David Raya, just taking his time on that left foot of his, and he strokes it in towards that bottom left corner, runs off towards where their Arsenal fans are based, and it's Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. Fantastic start for the Blues at Stamford Bridge. Greatly taken penalty there by Cole Palmer, but huge credit really to Mudryk in that whole build-up for that goal. Lovely flick on to really get the play moving, and then he didn't stop there. He continued his run, tried to flick it towards goal, and from his movement and from that cross in towards that penalty area where Raheem Sterling whipped it in towards Mudryk, his header created the penalty, created the confusion in the penalty area. The handball, Cole Palmer steps up, lovely taken penalty, sends David Raya the wrong way inside the first 15 minutes. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Sammy SK Football in association with the Produce Zone. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0, and it's a very well taken penalty there by Cole Palmer, who gets his second Premier League goal of the season. As I was saying, he was influential against Burnley, and he's been influential in the first 15 minutes of this game so far, as Arsenal trying to look to respond on this right-hand side, but Chelsea snapping at the heels of bukayo Saka once again. Enzo Fernandez gives it away cheaply though. Gabriel Jesus trying to hold up against Levi Colwill. He's gone down from the challenge from the Englishman, but the referee isn't interested, neither the assistant over there, Matthew Wilkes, as now Gabriel has it on the halfway line here. William Saliba playing it in towards the former Chelsea man Jorginho. A bit of time for the Italian to move it on towards this right-hand side where Ben White can pick it up with new bleached blonde hair for the former Brighton man. Plays it back towards Jorginho on the halfway line now for Arsenal. Fantastic start for Chelsea in this game. Of course, there have been so many critics with them at the start of the season. They're spending over £1 billion, and of course you're expecting some kind of results from that, and it's finally starting to slowly gel with this Chelsea side. Of course, still 75 minutes to be played. A lot can change in this game, but it's a perfect start for the Blues, as Arsenal really do need to try and find a response in this game. They've got tons of time to do it, and it's at the feet of David Raya now on the edge of his own penalty area. The man that's on loan from the other team from South West London, Brentford, who did win today against Burnley 3-0 to Brentford in that game. Fantastic result for Thomas Frank's side, and Vincent Kompany's side continue to be in the woes on the edge of the penalty area now with David Raya. Again, Arsenal, who have really enjoyed the majority of possession so far in this game, is just trying to do something a little bit higher up the field, because they have been really pinned inside their own defensive half or on the halfway line, like where they are now with Ben White, bukayo Saka just trying to intervene past Mark Cucurella, who does need to be careful now. He's already put in one late challenge on bukayo Saka, and he's put on a very late challenge there as well. The ball's run out of play, and bukayo Saka tried to keep driving on, and Cucurella just snapped to the heels of bukayo Saka. Saka just brushing that one off, but does need to be careful there, Mark Cucurella, that he doesn't go in towards Chris Kavanagh's book as well. Can see there from Choir saying, no way, Chelsea is leading. Am I dreaming? Well, Chelsea certainly winning back-to-back Premier League games, and they've really started well here. They've scored 6 goals in their last 2 Premier League games. You can make that 7 in their last 3, as Mudryk tries to flick it on there, taken down by Gabriel Martinelli, who picks up the loose balls in towards Gabriel, back towards Ben White on this far right-hand side. 18 minutes played, Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. Cole Palmer's penalty, the difference so far in this game. Gabriel on towards this left-hand side, the Brazilian trying to take his time to play forward. Jorginho's come deep to meet it. Arsenal yet to test Robert Sanchez so far in the Chelsea net. Haven't had a shot on goal in the opening 18 minutes of this game. Jorginho draws a foul on his former Chelsea colleague Conor Gallagher, as Mikel Arteta is in that thick black coat of his, and of course, no matter what, he will always be on the edge of his penalty, edge of his technical area, and he'll always be barking instructions at his side, despite the weather and despite the rainy conditions. He's hoping for something a little bit more from his side, because they've barely been going forward here. We haven't seen Gabriel Martinelli at all. We've been talking a lot about bukayo Saka and that battle between Mark Cucurella, and they've been consistently going at each other. And I think what bukayo Saka is hoping for is that Mark Cucurella gets a booking at some point in this game, so he knows he can't go so tight towards bukayo Saka. And just having a look here, Arsenal are trying to play out from the back here while I'm going on my monologue, and Jorginho just knocked it out of play, and it's giving away possession cheaply again towards Chelsea. It's going to be a throw on this left-hand side, about 40-45 yards from that Arsenal goal, but Chelsea aren't having to do much to win the ball back here. They're keeping their shape. They're engaging in what I call a half press. They're not even doing what Man City was doing, where they're absolutely sprinting at Arsenal when trying to win the ball back high up the field. They're keeping their shape. They're just letting Arsenal play around with the ball, and Arsenal are making it very easy for Chelsea so far in this game. Colwill there, now all the way back towards his former Brighton colleague Robert Sanchez, who can take his time to try and play out from the back. Nathaniel just joining us. Cole Palmer from the spot kick, who is the difference maker in this game so far to give Chelsea the lead 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. David Raya has come a long way out of his goal there, clipping it down towards this right-hand side. Good clearance in the end by the Spaniard. Lovely taken down by Levi Colwill, but he doesn't get his pass in any direction that he wants. Knocks it out for a throw on this right-hand side for Arsenal. Ben White to come over and take it. And see there, Quaz saying if Arsenal lose today, Spurs will be the only unbeaten team in the Premier League. And of course, Spurs play Fulham on Monday evening, Monday night British Standard Time, on towards this left-hand side where Gabriel Martinelli brings it down nicely. Malo Gusto with a bit of pressure on the Brazilian there. He's back towards his fellow Brazilian, Gabriel, in towards Jorginho. Good turn there by Alexander Zinchenko. Arsenal looking dangerous here with Declan Rice in towards that Chelsea penalty area. Fizzes one towards goal, and it's just across the face of goal as well. Good chance there for Arsenal. Declan Rice just peeled there for a moment, and he was in an onside position too. Gusto was drawn out far right to deal with Gabriel Martinelli. He just got into a slight pocket of space there, the former West Ham man, and he had one or two options inside the penalty area, and he was just trying to, it was more of a, wasn't really a pass or a shot or the end, he just played it with the outside of his foot. I think he was looking for a pass, it looked more like a shot, eventually just went wide. It was tight one there for Declan Rice to really do much of it. It was more, well, Arsenal of course have seen a player they know a lot about, Thierry Henry, in them positions where he opens his body out and rolls it in towards that bottom right corner. They needed that kind of finish there. Declan Rice isn't probably your go-to man for that kind of finish. He's on the ball here on this left-hand side again. Arsenal growing into this game now. Martinelli trying to find a way past Malo Gusto. Gusto just being forced back again by the run from Declan Rice on this far left-hand side, just trying to skip past Malo Gusto. Good interception there by Gusto and Caicedo at the second attempt, and it's going to be an Arsenal corner. Caicedo complaining there at referee Chris Cameron. I don't think he can really have too many complaints there, the Ecuadorian. It was a good interception by him, and it's going to be out here for an Arsenal corner. They're first of the game, and they can really send the big men in there. This is what Arsenal do have. They do really have this benefit of taller players. Chelsea with quite a short side today, and when you consider they're sending Gabriel up, William Saliba is being marshalled here by Enzo Fernandez, and Enzo Fernandez does need to be very careful here. He's got two arms around William Saliba, and he's almost hugging the Frenchman. Does not want to concede a spot kick. Played in towards that penalty area, away by Levi Colwill, and sure enough, it goes in Chelsea's favour. There's a foul on Robert Sanchez. It's going to be a free kick inside of their own 6-yard box, just at the halfway point of this first half. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. Cole Palmer, the difference maker in this game so far, converting the spot kick in towards that bottom left corner, sending David Raya the wrong way. Mudryk there, they were just by Mauricio Pochettino, who's having a word with his player on the pitch as Colwill plays it in towards Conor Gallagher, trying to get the flick on down the middle of the park, but it's comfortably at the feet of Gabriel. But again, two Chelsea players pressing, no options for Gabriel, being forced back all the way towards David Raya. And Lou's saying still a long match though, still, like you say, still a long time to go. Trickshaw's saying I've been waiting for Chelsea to start playing well together for a good while now. I think they are starting to play really well now and becoming a danger for teams. Well, certainly we know how much Chelsea have spent really, and we know the talent that they possess in that side. It's certainly been the whole thing of letting it gel. In terms of how other teams have done it in the past, it's replacing one or two players, replacing maybe 3 or 4. Chelsea have had replacing virtually 9-10 players. If you were to look from last season to now, the only recognisable faces really are Thiago Silva and Conor Gallagher, maybe you'd say Cucurella too, and maybe Raheem Sterling, but it's really a whole new look Chelsea team from last season. So it's trying to really build that all together as they're trying to play out from the back here with Thiago Silva. A very late challenge there by Thiago Silva. Arsenal now moving forward here with Martin Odegaard, overhit ball there by the Norwegian. It's going to be a Chelsea goal kick. Gabriel Martinelli has stayed down here out on this left-hand side. Caicedo played it in towards Thiago Silva, and he's gone steaming in, has Thiago Silva. It's a 2-foot challenge, actually. Having a look again, he certainly makes the ball, does Thiago Silva. Just whether or not he catches Gabriel Martinelli. Sure enough, Martinelli, he's making a real meal out of this one. I think he's seen the 2 feet go in from his fellow Brazilian, and he's trying to ride that challenge and potentially get Thiago Silva sent off. It's a quite a professional kind of, you don't want to call it a professional move, but this is what we see really in the Premier League. The second they see 2 feet go off the floor, try and ride that challenge, try and get your counterpart sent off, and that's what Gabriel Martinelli was trying to do there, but it was good defending in the end by Thiago Silva, and they really, Chelsea do get away with them there while trying to play out from the back. Eyes there on Chris Kavanagh. Wasn't enough to really validate a booking or potentially a red card. But anyway, Chelsea move forward now with Robert Sanchez on towards this left-hand side in towards Mudryk. Lovely touch in towards Enzo Fernandez, but Jorginho steps in well, and it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea on the halfway line. Enzo Fernandez there bringing down the former Chelsea man Jorginho. Alexander Zinchenko moving in towards that holding midfield position, which we typically see Mikel Arteta's side do, where he comes in from left back, plays in towards that holding midfield, or just trying to act as a pivot to try and create some more chances for Arsenal to move forward. Chelsea sitting in very much a very conventional 4-3-3. Conor Gallagher going in towards more of a left wing role, and Mykhailo Mudryk dropping a bit deeper so far. Elizabeth is hoping that Chelsea do win this game, where we've got 65 minutes to play, and they do have the lead so far at Stamford Bridge. But Gabriel Jesus has an opportunity here to whip one in towards that penalty area, as Robert Sanchez has come about 30 yards out of his goal. Absolutely crazy there by the Spaniard, and he sent a few blue shirts all over the place. Eventually they can clear from Levi Colwill. Crazy decision there by Robert Sanchez, because it was just a simple ball played over the top, and in the end he decided to sprint out at Gabriel Jesus. I don't think the Brazilian even expected it. Tried to clip it in towards that penalty area. It was sort of fortunate for Robert Sanchez. It was all blue shirts in there, and they ride that slight little wave there from Arsenal. And just an interesting stat that's just arrived, that Arsenal have enjoyed 80% of possession of the ball since Chelsea scored. So Chelsea got into their shell a little bit, and they've really not pushed on since that goal 10 minutes ago, as William Saliba plays it on towards this right hand side, where Jorginho can move it forward towards Ben White. Bukayo Saka's moved into a tucked in field position, and Saka takes over. An overlapping run there by Ben White, played it in towards Gabriel Jesus, who has time to fizz a shot off, but good defending there by Thiago Silva. Just made sure he stayed tight there to his Brazilian compatriot there, and got the nice blocking out for an Arsenal corner, their second of the game, from the other angle, potentially the in-swinging ball of Martin Odegaard to come. But it was really good defending there by Thiago Silva. Gabriel Jesus did well to just pin put Thiago Silva down. Eventually, when he got time to turn and shoot, it wasn't really enough room to really validate a good effort on goal. It's not going to be the in-swinging ball of Martin Odegaard, it's going to be the in-swinging ball of bukayo Saka instead. Saka's standing over this one. William Saliba wants to get in there. Enzo Fernandez does need to be careful. Played in towards that penalty area now. It's going to be headed away by Levi Colwill. Gabriel Jesus picks up the signal ball. He's got Martinelli to his left. He doesn't use him. Jesus trying to wriggle past 2-3 blue shirt challenges, and eventually Chelsea come away with the ball with Raheem Sterling now. Played it in towards Malo Gusto as he comes driving forward here at absolute full pace here, the Frenchman. Gabriel Martinelli with some really good defending there by the Brazilian. He got back all the way to put a challenge in on Gusto, but he's given away the ball back towards the Frenchman now, and Gusto has drawn the foul. It's a really good battle there between the two youngsters. Gabriel Martinelli followed him all the way. It was a 60-70 yard sprint there by the Brazilian to chase down the right back Malo Gusto. Eventually he won it back. Gabriel Martinelli trying to play out from the back from there, tried to twist and turn. Gusto won it back, and he draws the foul as well. Great battle there between the two of them, but it is going to result in a Chelsea free kick about 25-30 yards out, deep on this far right-hand side. Potentially this one in quite saying this is Thiago Silva's last season, one of the best free signings ever, when he came in during the Lampard era of Chelsea, and won the Champions League under Thomas Tuchel while in a blue shirt, and he's really been a pivotal signing that Chelsea have had in the last few seasons, as the resulting free kick is whipped in towards Thiago Silva. In the end, he came up for that free kick. Is eventually at Gabriel Martinelli, fizzed it straight in towards Conor Gallagher, who has gone down. Eventually now Arsenal trying to break forward here with bukayo Saka, but Marc Cucurella is there to quickly step in and knock it back towards his fellow Spaniard Robert Sanchez, who's just going to try and take his time playing forward here. Conor Gallagher has stayed down. It was just Gabriel Martinelli who just tried to fizz one forward, and he fizzed it of Conor Gallagher, and I mean, he's gone down here, certainly going to be a bit winded, the Englishman, just going to take his time on the edge of Arsenal's penalty area as we approach the half-an-hour mark in this game. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. If you're just joining us, listen to Sammy Eske Football in association with the Corridor Zone. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Cole Palmer, the difference maker so far in this game, with his spot kick from 12 yards after Mykhailo Mudryk's header reached the arm of William Saliba. And we're talking about how good William Saliba really has been in an Arsenal shirt. The Frenchman's value continues to go up. 1 assist in 8 Premier League games for the former Saint-Etienne man, and he can maybe feel himself slightly unfortunate really with that one. His left arm was out, and just interestingly seeing here, there was a slight debate over who took the spot kick for Chelsea. Raheem Sterling wanted it, but I think Enzo Fernandez said, you know, Cole Palmer scored the last one, and he's on a good streak of form, and sure enough, Raheem Sterling all was well and ends well in the end. But slightly interestingly there, that Sterling wanted to try and take the spot kick, at his 4th Premier League goal of the season for the former Man City and Liverpool man, but Cole Palmer stood over it, and the young 21-year-old scored. And now Conor Gallagher moving forward here, and he's found Cole Palmer. Once again, he fizzes one towards goal, and it was a great opportunity in the end for Cole Palmer. Out for an Arsenal goal kick, but came from nothing really, just a throw-in in towards Conor Gallagher, 30-40 yard run. Jorginho slow to react, and Cole Palmer just striving forward in towards that Arsenal 18-yard box. Just took one touch to set himself, fizzed one in towards that bottom right corner. David Raya was down early, but he didn't quite get there. Just dribbles wide. Half an hour played, Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0, as Gabriel has it on this left-hand side, clipping it down towards Gabriel Martinelli. Gusto intervenes, and Declan Rice picks up the second ball. Eventually, Thiago Silva puts it into touch. Arsenal throw on towards this left-hand side. Tim saying that Arsenal do not want to concede another. Martin saying the Gunners are missing Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey, who is on the bench as one of a number of players that Arsenal will look to probably bring on at some time in this game. Emil Smith-Rowe, another one, Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, Kai Havertz potentially going to come on against his former side. Leandro Trossard, the former Brighton man, on there too, as Arsenal move forward on this left-hand side with Gabriel Martinelli being chased down there by Thiago Silva and Levi Colwill. And between the two of them, they eventually deal with it, and it's going to be an Arsenal corner in the end. Levi Colwill only able to put that into touch, and it's going to be once again an opportunity for Arsenal with their third corner of the game. In terms of what Chelsea have on the bench, they do have Noni Madueke, Nicholas Jackson is still nursing a bit of a knock. Chukwu Rouge James is back on the bench, but again, another one of them still nursing a knock. Ian Matson potentially, Axel Dizazi, Emmanuel Badiashile. They need some more defensive options. Gabriel Martinelli over there to come and take this corner. Martin Odegaard is the short option. He uses him. Odegaard now running at Mudryk, back towards Gabriel Martinelli on the edge of Chelsea's penalty area now with Jorginho. Clips one in towards that far post where Gabriel tries to get up against Moises Caicedo. Away there by Levi Colwill. Long clearance by Levi Colwill all the way on towards the halfway line where Cucurella can give chase on Jorginho, who's going to have to force it all the way back towards David Raya. Fantastic pressing there by Marc Cucurella. Made a 60-yard run to really put a bit of pressure on that Arsenal backline. And sure enough, David Raya from the resulting pass back, he just knocked it into touch. All came from Marc Cucurella, really good play there by the Spaniard. It's going to be a Chelsea throw on this right-hand side on the halfway line here. And of course, Chelsea are without a number of players. No Broja, Chalobah, Chukwuemeka still nursing a knock. Chilwell and Cuckoo for Wesley Fofana and Romeo Lavia, we haven't seen in the competitive Chelsea fixture since that move in the summer. So a number of Chelsea players still out injured. They're still waiting to get their full side back, but with the side they've got out today, they're really putting on a valiant and resilient performance in the opening half an hour, and they had the lead at Stamford Bridge too. In the previous 7 meetings, as I was saying, Chelsea have only won one of them occasions. Arsenal winning 6 out of the last 7 meetings between their noisy neighbours from southwest London, as Jorginho has it in the middle of the pitch now. A bit of pressure on Cole Palmer, forcing it on towards this left-hand side where Gabriel can play it in towards Declan Rice. Moves in field here, the former Chelsea youth man, as he plays it in towards William Saliba. And this is a story of the first half so far for Arsenal. What William Saliba just did here, he took his touch but got it caught in his feet, and suddenly he slows the whole play down and gives Chelsea the opportunity to move forward here. And it's just them slight little details that we're really noticing between the two sides at the moment, and it's just not ticking for Arsenal so far in this game. They just need one moment to really change it so far. Ben White's poor touch from the clearance there from David Raya gives Chelsea possession, back with Levi Colwill in towards Robert Sanchez's feet, and the Spaniard has a bit of time to try and play out from the back. And good to see there football fans and Steve Howard hoping for Chelsea to continue what they're doing so far, as well as Adrian and Pro, and as he was saying, we need to score goals, Gunners. Come on, hoping that the Gunners can try and find a way past that Blues defence, as Zinchenko has it in the middle of the pitch now and towards Ben White on this right-hand side. Good bit of play there by Ben White in towards Odegaard, who's being forced back, the former Real Madrid man, the Norwegian, in towards William Saliba. Of course, Norway are a slight bit of a threat to not qualify for the European Championships next year. Of course, they do have a number of talented players, but the main two you look for are Odegaard and Erling Haaland, who did score earlier today against Brighton as City won 2-1. And really, again, that City made hard work over. Manuel Akanji got a red card in that game for a second yellow card offence, but again, they did have Rodri back for. You can instantly see the difference when Rodri is in the side. Arsenal with possession on the halfway line now with Jorginho playing it in towards bukayo Saka. Nice turn there by the Englishman in towards Odegaard. Nice one-touch pass in towards Ben White now, about 35 yards from that Chelsea goal. Ben White now switching the field of play with that weaker left foot of his in towards Gabriel Jesus, who's pulled out and towards a far left position, but can't quite bring it down, can the Brazilian, and Sterling nipped in. Gusto helped him out. Now Chelsea are back in possession now with the former Leon man, Malo Gusto, as Caicedo clips it long on towards this right-hand side where Sterling can give chase. Gabriel only towards towards William Saliba. The ball is bouncing awkwardly for the Frenchman to deal with, trying to find it in towards Alexander Zinchenko, who can only flick it out to touch, and it's going to be a Chelsea throw on this right-hand side. And interestingly there, where the Matthew Harding end is, a lot of them is more or less the opposite end of the pitch to where they are, but they're really getting on their feet and are enjoying with what they're seeing so far from their side. It's going to be a throw on this right-hand side. Malo Gusto to come over and take it. Moises Caicedo has come deep to try and pick up the ball. It's a poor throw in there by Malo Gusto, but Enzo Fernandez can help him out. Caicedo now playing it in towards Levi Colwill. Again, bit of time for the Englishman to try and drive forward here. 10 minutes to play off this first half. Potentially we'll have a bit of stoppage time as well. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Sammy SK Football in association with the Corridor Zone. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as Robert Sanchez plays it down the middle of the pitch now in towards mikel Mudryk, but a really poor clearance there by Robert Sanchez. And just noticed there Mauricio Pochettino straight out of his technical area. He doesn't want his side to give the ball away too cheaply. I think he's quite happy for his players to have runs at the Arsenal defence, and if they give away the ball in kind of a possession move, he's absolutely fine with that. They're trying to create some kind of half chance, but when they're just giving away the ball cheaply just by clipping it long, I'm not too sure if he is too happy with that. As Moises Caicedo plays it in towards mikel Mudryk. Chelsea back in the ball now. Enzo Fernandez 35 yards from the Arsenal goal. The Argentinian racing forward here as Declan Rice snaps at the forward Benfica man's heels inside of the Arsenal penalty area now. Back up towards Cucurella. Conor Gallagher 35 yards from the Arsenal goal. Back towards Levi Colwill, the Englishman to the Englishman. In towards Thiago Silva. Arsenal with all 11 men behind the ball. The Brazilian now plays it in towards Cole Palmer. Again coming deep to come and pick up the ball. Raheem Sterling out far right as Chelsea now getting, you would call it a scarce spell of possession in terms of the last 10-15 minutes so far. Arsenal have had a lot of the ball, not causing Chelsea too many problems going forward, you'd have to say, apart from that Declan Rice half chance. But Chelsea in possession on this left-hand side with Marc Cucurella, but can't help but notice they've been pinned back here as Cucurella has just been brought down by bukayo Saka. We've been talking about this interesting battle, really, we've seen between the right winger of Arsenal, bukayo Saka, and the left back of Chelsea, Marc Cucurella. They've been snapping at each other's heels, both of them, for the entirety of the first 35 minutes of this game. And interestingly now, it's bukayo Saka and the one committing the fouls instead of Marc Cucurella. And now Chelsea have a free kick on this left-hand side where Cucurella takes over from Levi Colwill. Again, bit of time for the Englishman to try and clip this one forward, down deep on towards this left-hand side where mikel Mudryk can give chase. Ben White can only knock it into charge. It's going to be a Chelsea throw on this left-hand side. Gamma is predicting that Arsenal will make a comeback in this game. Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1, and Riker saying, come on, 3 more points for Chelsea, which will raise them in towards the top half of the Premier League, but it's a poorly given away there by Enzo Fernandez. Gusto takes over though, not the best of first touches by Gusto, but he gets away with it in the end, and Cole Palmer can race forward here on this right-hand side, 40 yards from the Arsenal goal. Good run this by Cole Palmer. Conor Gallagher's made a run in towards the middle. Mudryk is at that far post. Instead he opts to go short to his former Man City teammate, Raheem Sterling. Palmer now chipping one in towards Enzo Fernandez. Great flick on by Fernandez. Conor Gallagher with an opportunity, and it was Mudryk there for the cutback maybe. Gallagher got a shot off. Good save in the end by David Ray. I think he was in an offside position in the end, but it was a great little flick on there by Enzo Fernandez. Just moved in towards a more of an advanced position, flicked in towards Conor Gallagher, who absolutely, the assistant on this far side, has got that right. Conor Gallagher just a yard or two off, but it was a good bit of play again by Chelsea. Lovely flick on by Enzo Fernandez. We've been talking how they don't really have that much of an aerial prowess really in this Chelsea side, but Enzo Fernandez with a fantastic flick on there. And we saw mikel Mudryk working with a header really well earlier too, as Marc Cucurella snaps in there on Ben White. He's looking to try and play out from the back on this left-hand side, clipping it down towards Enzo Fernandez, putting a bit of pressure on William Saliba, but the Frenchman comes away with it. Good bit of play there by the former Saint-Etienne man, as Odegaard has it on the halfway line in towards Gabriel and towards this left-hand side. Jorginho with a bit of time to try and play in the middle of the pitch on towards this left-hand side. Gabriel Martinelli, room to try and run at Malo Gusto, but he's been forced back by Raheem Sterling. This is really good play by Chelsea's wingers. They're both coming back to try and help out their fullbacks. Zinchenko, though, trying to flick it on towards Declan Rice as Thiago Silva intervenes. And there's Gabriel Martinelli getting a slight touch on the ball and giving it towards Jorginho. But both Mudryk and Sterling, they both know their job is not only going forward, but going back as well. As just seeing here, bukayo Saka's just picked it up, and mikel Mudryk is reading the run of Ben White. It's very much man for man, but they're certainly helping him out. And sure enough, as I'm talking about this, Raheem Sterling just giving Gabriel Martinelli slightly a bit too much time. And sure enough, Arsenal looking a little bit promising down that left-hand side, but Zinchenko's had to move it infield towards William Saliba, who potentially was looking for a shot on goal, but instead he's opted out to go on towards this far right-hand side. Saka with pressure from Cucurella. The interception though by mikel Mudryk, and he's trying to draw the foul as the Ukrainian. He's drawn it well. And you can just feel an aura of frustration brewing around the away side right now. It's not clicking. It certainly was clicking against Manchester City. They were building up a lot of chances in towards that second half. Of course, we've still got 15 minutes, to play in this game, a whole second half of football as well. But in terms of how they're moving the ball in that final third at the moment, it's not clicking for Arsenal as it stands. I said at the start of the commentary that certainly this is Arsenal's best front three, but they just haven't quite been able to get it going so far in this game as Levi Colwill flicks it on towards Conor Gallagher. Declan Rice is there to intervene. Certainly across the rest of the park, it's and business per as usual for Arsenal. They just potentially need a little bit more attacking options from the midfield roles because, of course, Jorginho is having to hang a bit deeper. Declan Rice is trying to offer a bit of support on that left-hand side, but there's no room in the middle for Arsenal to play with. They have it on this left-hand side now with Gabriel on the halfway line. In terms of the pockets of space that you look between the midfield and the back line, there is not much for Arsenal really to try and play it. They're looking to try and find any kind of room to wriggle in and can see that Gabriel Martinelli has moved deep here, and so has Martin Odegaard, just to try and get his foot on the ball. And there you go, right when I call it, Martin Odegaard gets his foot on the ball inside that pocket of space, trying to roll it through in towards Gabriel Jesus, just misplaced that pass. But that is where Arsenal are going to cause Chelsea some problems, because the second he picked up that ball, if he just had a little bit more awareness on his right shoulder, he couldn't quite see behind him because he picked up the ball so late in terms of when he was expecting, turns on that right shoulder of his and runs at that Chelsea defence, and suddenly we got a really dangerous attacking opportunity. Arsenal ending the first half the better of the two sides here with 5 minutes to play. You're listening to Semi-Skip Football in association with the Current Zone. Currently Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0 as bukayo saka races forward on this right-hand side against Marc Cucurella. He's being forced back though towards Ben White, again looking for that pockets of space, back towards William Saliba. It's every man behind the ball for Chelsea, as I'm sure they'll be very happy to go in at half-time 1-0 up against the Gunners as Gabriel Martinelli looks to try and find a way past Malo Gusto. Good defending though by the Frenchman, back into the side after that suspension, and is certainly holding firm as Alexander Zinchenko moving it forward in towards Gabriel Jesus, and Caicedo snaps at his heels. And interestingly, again, I keep on in the last rhetoric really about the pockets of space, but the second that Gabriel Jesus moves a bit deeper to try and get himself on the ball, Moises Caicedo is just reading the passing lanes and is able to quickly step in and just snap at the heels of whoever the Arsenal recipient is, as Gabriel Jesus goes for an audacious shot, ends up being a half-decent passing towards Gabriel Martinelli. Chelsea switching off for half a second here. Declan Rice on this far left-hand side, opportunity to whip this one in towards the middle, deflected cross in towards the safe hands of Robert Sanchez, who can try and take his time, but he's eager to go quickly though in towards Enzo Fernandez, and Chelsea racing forward here on this right-hand side, past the halfway line now with the Argentinian Enzo Fernandez. Raheem Sterling on this far right-hand side. Zinchenko putting a bit of pressure on his former Man City teammate as Malo Gusto takes over on this right-hand side. Levi Colwill on the halfway line. Opportunity to move forward with Marc Cucurella. Again, Mudryk coming deep to try and meet it. Mikel Arteta on the edge of his technical area, again barking instructions at his men in red as Caicedo again, Chelsea being pinned back. This is what Arsenal really are doing well. In terms of attacking, in terms of their offensive outlet, they're struggling at the moment, but in terms of their defensive outlet, besides the penalty and one or two other moves from Chelsea, when they're racing forward, they really are putting a good pressure on Chelsea and forcing them to clip it forward. If you really consider the amount of times that Robert Sanchez has played a hopeful ball down the middle of the pitch or down the right or down that left-hand side, Arsenal can be pleased with how that has worked out. It's just when they get their foot on the ball like they are now with Declan Rice in the middle of the pitch, pretty much by the halfway line, this is when they need to try and make it count as they try and move forward here. And just to remind you as well, there is a game after this too, Sheffield United against Manchester United at Sheffield United's ground on this right-hand side, where Thiago Silva can look to try and play it forward. 2 minutes 30 of this first half to be played. Just joining us, listening to Semi-Skip Football in association with the Current Zone. Currently Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0 as Malo Gusto moves it in towards Enzo Fernandez. Thiago Silva, a bit of time to try and move it forward, but Levi Colwill, the former Brighton man, playing it in towards that other former Brighton man, Marc Cucurella. And I was saying how Cucurella has really stepped up since playing in right back, gets a starting left back today, and he's doing really, really well so far. Thiago Silva playing it in towards Cole Palmer. Lovely flick on there by the former Man City man as Sterling turns to Alexander Zinchenko and races at that Arsenal defence, trying to feed it in towards Malo Gusto, who's made an advance run forward here. Gusto's effort, and it was a decent effort as well, just moved on towards that weaker left foot of his, just trying to almost lob it over David Raya, who was in a really advanced position, interestingly, the Spaniard. He was just about 6-8 yards out of his goal, so I can understand why he was going for a bit more of the looped effort. He was able to get his head up and have a little eye on goal, and another day, if he was able to get that on target, I think David Raya probably would have had that one covered. 90 seconds to play off this first half before we head into added time. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. Cole Palmer's penalty giving the Blues the lead so far in this game. Jorginho now moving forward here on the halfway line. Can see their loose area. What happened to them when they faced Chelsea in the 2021-22 season? They led 1-0 to Burnley, but missed multiple shots as Gabriel Jesus draws the foul on Thiago Silva. And this is going to be an opportunity for Arsenal to potentially whip this one in towards the middle. Thiago Silva picks up a yellow card. The veteran Chelsea centre-half, 39 years of age, just going in a little too late there on Gabriel Jesus. A nice little interchange really, and he came steaming forward, and Gabriel Jesus just knocked it out on towards this right-hand side, and it certainly was a free kick, and it deemed probably a yellow card. Chris Kavanagh going to his book, that's Thiago Silva's second yellow card of the Premier League season so far, and it's going to be an opportunity for Odegaard to whip this one in on that left foot of his, as Saliba has gone up, as well as Gabriel has played in towards Declan Rice. He's got opportunity to potentially clip this one in with that left foot of his, but just straight into an offside position. And as I'm talking about, this has really been the story of the first half so far for Arsenal. It's not clicking, it's not working so far at the moment. Mikel Arteta really needs to get in towards and get into his side. And just having a look again, it's awfully tight, to be fair to Declan Rice. It's by a fraction of his shoulder blade that the flag has gone up. It's gone up early, so they've gone with the on-field decision. They always go on about how they like to keep the flag down, but the flag went up instantly. But they just need to make it click in that final third, Arsenal, to really create a difference in this game so far. A couple minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. Sterling in towards the Arsenal penalty area. It goes down too as Enzo Fernandez comes steaming in. Sterling complaining for a penalty. We've already had one penalty so far in this game going Chelsea's way. Sterling made a fantastic run there, and he just was able to flick it past the oncoming challenge from Alexander Zinchenko, I believe, and he's just complaining that he got snapped in between the middle. No other real Chelsea complaints. VAR team of Jared Gillett and Darren Can having a look at this one. It was a good run in there by Raheem Sterling, just having a second. The VAR team continued to check this as Gabriel has it on towards this left-hand side. Conor Gallagher putting a bit of pressure on the Brazilian, and he's stepped awfully high there, the Chelsea captain, leaving his midfield a little bit exposed. And there is that exposed space that Martin Odegaard is to try and race into. But Marc Cucurella with a fantastic interception and a marvellous ball to complement it as well, as Raheem Sterling races forward here on this right-hand side. 60 seconds to play of this first half, on the edge of Arsenal's penalty area now with Cole Palmer. Moves it in towards Enzo Fernandez. He's got time to have a shot on goal. Poor effort in the end, straight down the throat of David Raya, who looks to try and throw it forward here on this right-hand side. Having a look again, it was between Alexander Zinchenko and Gabriel Martinelli. And interestingly, it's probably on another day this could be given as a penalty, because it's Gabriel Martinelli's right leg that just comes over and clips Raheem Sterling's running leg. Nothing wrong with the Alexander Zinchenko challenge, but it's Gabriel Martinelli's second challenge that maybe could have caused one or two problems. The VAR team have already given a penalty in Chelsea's favour. They're not going to do it for the second time, but on another day maybe. But Malo Gusto knocks it into touch. Sterling continues his protest towards Chris Kavanagh, who isn't interested. We won't get a spot kick at the end of this first half as Alexander Zinchenko takes over the throw on towards this left-hand side as Chris Kavanagh blows his whistle to mark the end of what has really been a scintillating first half in what is a very rainy southwest London. It's Cole Palmer's penalty on the 15th minute, which separates the two sides. Fantastic bit of play by Mudryk. He got the flick on and won the penalty as well from the Saliba handball from Mudryk's header. Cool, composed penalty from Cole Palmer, but they went into their shell a little bit, Chelsea, after their goal. Arsenal were able to come forward, not really put too much pressure on Robert Sanchez. They've got work to do in the second half, do Arsenal. Of course, if they do win this game, they do go top, but they've got to find 2 goals in the second half at Stamford Bridge, as they will attack towards that away end at half-time at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0.
Thank you so much, Lewis. I think Chelsea approached the game well, from the start,
Yeah, they've certainly got it right so far. I certainly think that Pochettino would have wanted his side to continue going forward, despite going 1-0 up. But it's just how they manage the game now, because they've got the lead. They know Arsenal have got to come out their shell a little bit, maybe bring on Kai Havertz or bring on Leandro Trossard. So it's just how you manage the game. But across the pitch, it's been really, really good performances from all the Chelsea players.
Yep. I think the work rate has been great from kickoff. From the start of the game, the work rate was really great.
Yeah, there's certainly when you look at Marc Cucurella, he's an absolute ball of energy in left back. He'd be very pleased to not go into half-time on a yellow card as well, because he's really kept bukayo saka quiet in that first half. He's one of a number of Chelsea players that have done really, really well in this game, but Arsenal know how quickly it can change in a game, and I think they'll think in the next 45 minutes, start quickly, start early, and try and catch Chelsea sleeping maybe.
All right, thank you so much, Lewis. Once again, great commentary here on Some ASK Football. Guys, please make sure you hit the like button. Lewis is doing a great job again tonight here on the channel. A lot of you guys are in the live chat. 2.9 people were here, guys. 2.9k people were here. Please, let's get the likes to 1k likes. Please, get the likes to 1k likes. This is great commentary. Lewis, I think we're going to just take a break. Just take a break and catch your breath, and then we're gonna see you in the next 10 minutes.
Brilliant. See you in 10 minutes, Sammy.
All right. Yep. Thank you. Lewis, are you there?
Hi, Sammy, I'm here.
All right, let's go.
So we can get underway for the second half of this game at Stamford Bridge. And there is going to be a change at half-time for Arsenal. Alexander Zinchenko, interestingly, has come off in left-back. And we're going to see Tomiyasu coming on to replace him. So a straight swap for Arsenal. No changes at all for the home side in red. Arsenal to kick us off then for the second half of this game. Referee Chris Kavanagh going through his last checks as they kick us off, going from right to left in this second half. To Arsenal attacking towards that away end where the shed end is. Chelsea attacking towards that Matthew Harding end as Moises Caicedo looks to try and nick it off of Gabriel Jesus. Levi Cole was over there to go and help him out. Cole Palmer putting a bit of pressure on Gabriel. He's knocked it all the way back towards David Raya. Do give us your thoughts inside of the comment section. How you think this second half will pan out and how you think the game will finish. Will Chelsea extend their lead? Will Arsenal find a way back? While saying Tomiyasu to replace Zinchenko. That has been the confirmed substitution, the first substitution of the game, first substitution for Arsenal. Of course, you will see more of them as the game goes later on into the latter part, as William Saliba has it in the middle of the pitch now. The Frenchman trying to move forward. Of course, Chelsea's only win in their past 11 games at Stamford Bridge was against Luton. That 3-0 win. They've drawn 5 and lost 5, so this would really break up that record if they found all 3 points today. As Thiago Silva tries to clip it in towards Conor Gallagher, tries to bring it down, but pressure from there from Jorginho. Cole will clips it down the middle of the pitch, well taken down though by William Saliba. If you missed the first half, Chelsea are 1-0 up thanks to a Cole Palmer penalty. Nicely composed, rolled it in towards that bottom left corner. David Raya gets sent the wrong way, and that was pretty much the story of the first half. Arsenal with no real meaningful chances, but they need to create a few here as they move it forward with Gabriel on this left-hand side. William Saliba now in the middle of the pitch in towards Jorginho, trying to move it forward, as well as Conor Gallagher has it on the halfway line. Tomiyasu, though, moving infield. And quite interestingly here, Arsenal, once again, despite Alexander Zinchenko coming off, Tomiyasu moving in towards that infield position that we are so used to seeing Arsenal players play in that role. Losing them, Mudryk scores the second goal. Chelsea, can you believe it? Hoping that Mudryk will score that second goal, I believe, as well. William Saliba has it in the middle of the pitch now on this right-hand side. Jorginho now just on the halfway line. Of course, Mudryk, who did score against Fulham, so knows how to score against London's side. Ben White now playing it in towards Martin Odegaard. Conor Gallagher now able to snip in and snap in, and he's racing forward here on that left-hand side. Mudryk making the overlapping run, and we're just talking about him as able to try and whip one in towards that penalty area. And it's a whip and a cross, and it's neither one or the other, and eventually it's in towards the back of the net. Mudryk, he has had no run of fortune really since being into Chelsea colours. It's been such a slow start really for the Ukrainian, but he's starting to really find his feet, and he's whipped it in with that left foot of his. I mean, I think you will be honest and say that certainly was a cross. Nonetheless, it's found its way in towards the back of the net, and Chelsea double their lead in this game. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0. The smile on Mykhailo Mudryk's face is absolutely beaming. David Raya complaining at his side. It's the worst possible start for this second half for Arsenal. Ben White was looking to try and play it in towards Martin Odegaard. Odegaard turned, but didn't realise Conor Gallagher was sitting behind him. The Norwegian couldn't bring it down. Conor Gallagher raced forward on that left-hand side here, played it in towards Mykhailo Mudryk, and he just was trying to whip it in towards Raheem Sterling, I want to say, at that far post, because it was on that weaker left foot of his, and it was, you've got to say, I think he'll claim that it was a shot. It's neither one or the other. I mean, you be the judge, shot or cross. Nonetheless, Mykhailo Mudryk whips it in with that left foot of his. It catches David Raya out, finds its way into the bottom right corner in the end, and Mykhailo Mudryk doubles Chelsea's lead in this game. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0, and this is the perfect start to the second half for Chelsea. I mean, inside the first 15 minutes, they went 1-0 up in this game, and now inside the first 3 minutes of this second half, they've made it 2-0. Now Caicedo can race forward and try and feed it in towards Raheem Sterling. Tomiyasu is able to just stumble for half a second, then roll it back towards his goalkeeper David Raya, and he plays a risky ball in towards Jorginho. Good bit of play there though, but the Italian is able to draw a foul on the edge of his own penalty area and get Arsenal racing forward here very, very quickly on this left-hand side, where Tomiyasu can play it in towards Gabriel Martinelli as Malo Gusto is just putting a bit of pressure there on the Brazilians, trying to cut inside. Jorginho takes over, a bit of pressure on Conor Gallagher, and Tomiyasu moves infield. But a perfect start for Chelsea, and Elizabeth saying there, Chelsea working really, really hard, and now they've got that cushion that they needed. I said at the end of the first half that Arsenal have a lot to ask for. They got to try and find 2 goals at Stamford Bridge. Now they've got to try and find 3 to pick up all 3 points in this game. Chelsea really playing like Chelsea of old as Mudryk moves in towards Enzo Fernandez. Colwell now on the edge of his own penalty area trying to find a pass forward in towards Cucurella, just taking his time. Londe there, Cucurella, bukayo Saka moving forward now in towards Jorginho, clips it in towards Gabriel Jesus, away by Malo Gusto, only as far as Tomiyasu on the edge of Chelsea's penalty area. Sterling goes steaming in, few complaints for an Arsenal foul. Gabriel Martinelli now on this left hand side. Chris Kavanagh not interested in giving the free kick as Martinelli tries to skip past Malo Gusto. Really good defending there by the Frenchman, just forced him all the way back towards Gabriel there, but he's eventually trying to clip it in towards the middle where William Saliba can try and take over, in towards Ben White on this far right hand side. Jorginho takes over, he's ushering Ben White forward. Eventually the former Brighton man can receive it. 5 minutes play of this second half. Stamford Bridge is absolutely booming at the moment. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0. Gabriel on this left hand side playing it in towards Gabriel Martinelli as he tried to flick it in towards Declan Rice, nicely taken down there on that right foot of his as the Englishman races forward. Once again, Gabriel Martinelli on this left-hand side, just trying to bend one in towards that far post where Gabriel Jesus rises. Thiago Silva gets there at the first attempt, Conor Gallagher at the second, and Moises Caicedo at the third. And this, we haven't seen that from Chelsea for a very long time, winning the first, second, and third ball and forcing Arsenal back. This is, like I said earlier, it's really proving to be the Chelsea of old so far. Jorginho pushes it on towards this right hand side where Ben White can take over. Bukayo Saka has to come short to come and meet it, skips past the challenge coming in from Marc Cucurella. Mudryk comes to help him out. Robert Sanchez gets a flappy palm on it, only as far as Gabriel Martinelli still inside of the Chelsea penalty area on this far right hand side as Martinelli tries to move forward here. Gabriel, as he's about 30 yards from the Chelsea goal, the centre half playing so far forward now for Arsenal. Saliba trying to read through the lines, but a good interception there by Mikel Mudryk, and now they can chase forward here once again. Can Chelsea? Sterling just trying to get past the challenge coming in from the Japanese international Tomiyasu, but really good play by the substitute, and he can move it forward here once again for Arsenal. This second half has certainly started with all the energy we had in the round after that Chelsea goal as Ben White moves it forward on this right hand side towards the Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard, looking to try and cut inside on that left foot of his, but he's got a number of Chelsea players behind him, no real room for Arsenal to work with. Gresham saying 2-0 Chelsea win. Kwa saying I still respect Kai Havertz for that Champions League final goal. Of course, the former Chelsea man, the German international Kai Havertz, and as we were saying, Mudryk has worked very hard for that goal. It's been a long time coming for Mikel Mudryk to get a goal at Stamford Bridge. He got one just up the road at Craven Cottage not too long ago, but he's got one finally on home soil as well as Declan Rice moves on towards this left hand side with Gabriel Martinelli inside of the Chelsea penalty area, now cutting inside that strong right foot of his and just trying to bend it in towards that bottom right corner, but a good deflection in the end by Thiago Silva, out for Arsenal's first corner of this second half. Martinelli just cutting inside and we're trying to bend it in towards that bottom right corner as Thiago Silva's left knee, which just diverts it away from goal. And once again, Arsenal with the opportunity from the corner, and crossing there, 39, aging like a fine wine. I certainly think that's the best simile to describe Thiago Silva as, again, there is certainly a real mismatch inside that penalty area in terms of the height advantage that Arsenal have. They need to whip it in towards that far post where they got numbers forward as Saka whips it in towards that far post as Sanchez once again with a flappy palm eventually away, and it's out for Arsenal corner once again right in front of that away, and as Robert Sanchez complains to Chris Kavanagh that there was a foul in there. Ben White was just seeming to have an arm really on the Chelsea goalkeeper, and he was complaining that there was a slight nudge. I mean, not really too much in it. I don't think Robert Sanchez has enough to protest and claim that it should have really been a free kick in his favour, as Ben White is, again, they're just having a little word in there. Chris Kavanagh, he's not having a word with the goalkeeper or the right back for Arsenal. He's having a word with Gabriel Jesus and Marc Cucurella, who has been super tight to Arsenal players for this entire game so far. Again, the options for Arsenal are in towards that back post if they can find it. Eventually it does go towards the back post where Gabriel meets it and he heads it just wide of goal. But that's where Arsenal are threatening. If they can get some corners and get some set pieces and whip it in towards that far post, there is a number of players they're just queuing up waiting to head it in. Having a look again at that Mudryk goal, was David Raya at fault for it? Like I said earlier, in the first half, when Malo Gusto cut inside and feeds one in with that left foot of his, and did say David Raya was in such an advanced position. He was about 6-8 yards out of his goal, and you can understand why Malo Gusto went for a bit more of a lobbed effort. And Mudryk, just there when he got it on that left foot of his, maybe you could argue that he certainly has tried to maybe catch David Raya out. I know I was saying earlier, certainly looked like a cross. I think most people will say it's probably a cross. But maybe that plays into the mind of the Ukrainian. Potentially, he'll be the one to really discuss it at the end of the game in his post-match press conferences. Again, all eyes on David Raya. Of course, there are without Aaron Ramsdale today. The Ramsdale family welcoming a new member. Aaron Ramsdale and his partner having a baby. So, of course, he is not in the Arsenal side today. But he hasn't been in the Arsenal side for a number of times. And David Raya has kept 3 clean sheets in his previous 4 Premier League games. No clean sheet today. Not having the best of days is the Spaniard, who is so familiar with playing in West London in red and white colour. Not in terms of the goalkeeper kit, but you get the kind of memo as Robert Sanchez moves it forward here on this right hand side, trying to find Raheem Sterling, but it's intercepted there by Tomiyasu as Jorginho moves it in towards the Japanese international. But Malo Gusto, it's really holding firm on that right hand side, trying to keep the ball as well, but he's giving the ball away cheaply in the end by Declan towards Declan Rice, who can play it in towards Gabriel Martinelli, who can race forward here on that left hand side, trying to find a way past Moises Caicedo, but his fellow South American just held him up. Really good play by the Ecuadorian, deflates it out for an Arsenal corner, and Gabriel Martinelli eager and keen to come and take this one. And it's their 3rd corner of the second half so far, and this is where they're looking most threatening. They keep on saying it's that far post where it's a complete mismatch. Levi Colwill and Thiago Silva, they're sticking with the zonal marking, but there's just an abundance of tall players in towards that far post that can really cause Chelsea a lot of problems. Is in towards that middle of the pitch, middle of the box. Instead, it's falling towards Jorginho. Tomiyasu can have a go on goal, but it's a poor effort in the end. It's out for a Chelsea goal kick. It's certainly Tomiyasu is complaining for a corner, but it's going to be a goal kick in the end. Just having a look again, certainly from initial viewing, it looked like a goal kick. It was cleared away by Cucurella at the first attempt, blocked by Enzo Fernandez from Jorginho, and sure enough, Tomiyasu is absolutely spot on, deflects off of Moises Caicedo. That certainly should be an Arsenal corner, but it goes in Chelsea's way. We just played 10 minutes of the second half so far. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Semi-SK Football in association with the Country Zone. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We do have one other Premier League fixture coming up later today. Sheffield United play Manchester United. Of course, there is that sombre news of the passing of Bobby Charlton, which will be really the talking point from the Manchester United game, and really the talking point across the footballing world. Bobby Charlton, who passed away at the age of 86 earlier today. As we turn our attention back towards the Chelsea game, Cole Palmer intervenes on David Raya, and he goes down from the challenge from David Raya too. Real mix up there from the Spaniard. He had the ball at his feet, and he's on the edge of his own 6-yard box. And he's just got all the time in the world, really, and he's just taking really way too long, trying to play it in towards Declan Rice. Cole Palmer was instantly there, and he was just trying to take it past David Raya. He was able to get a shot in on goal. It was a good save in the end by David Raya, but he's having to really make amends for that really poor mistake that he didn't need to make. He just needs to play out quicker and not invite to Chelsea any more advantage that they've got so far. Mudryk is over to come and take the resulting corner right in front of that Matthew Harding end. He's got going to be the in-swinging ball from the Ukrainian deep in towards that far post where Cole Palmer can come and pick up the second ball in towards Enzo Fernandez. Colwill gets the header, and he's got his header all wrong, just miscued in the end. It was a good, well-worked move in the end by Chelsea. The flag was up. So I think Levi Colwill did stray into an offside position. The benefit of having no men on the post that Arsenal had is that players from resulting corners can be in an offside position, and so certainly our official on the far side was certainly correct. It was a good ball in towards Cole Palmer at the far post. Just played it in towards Enzo Fernandez, who there's a delicious flick on in towards Levi Colwill. We got his header wrong, headed it well over the bar. Wouldn't have counted anyways. Arsenal get the resulting free kick, and they race forward here with the Italian Jorginho on the halfway line now for Arsenal. Of course, he knows Stamford Bridge really, really well, spending a few years playing in Chelsea blue and in Arsenal red today, and he's on the losing side so far, but still half an hour to be played in this game. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0, as Arsenal looking like to be here with bukayo Saka wriggling past the challenge from Marc Cucurella, and again, bukayo Saka is really keen to get the Spaniard on a yellow card. It's going to be a free kick out on this far right-hand side. Bukayo Saka is just having a little word with the assistant on the touchline. I believe that is Richard West on that touchline. He's just having a little word with the linesman and our referee, Chris Kavanagh. He wants Marc Cucurella booked, so then the second he can run at him, he knows any little touch or little something, he can go down, potentially get him sent off. We saw it earlier with Ashley Young in the Merseyside derby when Luis Diaz went sprinting at the Englishman, and he caught the 38-year-old a couple of times, and sure enough, he was able to get him sent off. I think that's what bukayo Saka has in his head. Maybe not to get Marco Correa sent off, but certainly to get him on some kind of caution to try and cause a little bit more problems inside on that right-hand side, as Arsenal do take the resulting free kick here with Martin Odegaard. They've sent the big men forward once again, and surely one of them have really got to fancy their chances from the set piece, because it's a mismatch wherever you look inside of that Chelsea penalty area. The ball comes in towards the middle. Robert Sanchez comes out to claim, and Tomiyasu got there, and Robert Sanchez has absolutely piled in towards Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus is okay, but again, Arsenal complaining for a penalty here. I mean, this draws my mind back to Wolves Manchester United at the very start of the season. Andre Onana absolutely piled into Craig Dawson, and a spot kick wasn't given. It's exactly the same situation, because Robert Sanchez hasn't made the ball, but on any other place on the pitch, this is a free kick, and in this case, this should be a penalty, because Robert Sanchez, let's be very clear here, he hasn't got the ball, and he's gone straight through Gabriel Jesus. He's taken out everybody with them, Levi Colwill and Gabriel Jesus, but this is quite a grey area in the law, because even though this should be a penalty and this looks like a penalty, it won't be given. And it's a real conundrum, and it's going to be one that's going to be debated, because Robert Sanchez has not made the ball here. There's certainly no doubt about it. It's flicked off the head of Tomiyasu. It's going to be a Chelsea goal kick, but he's gone straight through Gabriel Jesus. And wherever else you do this on the pitch, either goalkeeper or not, it's a free kick no matter what. But because it's a goalkeeper and it's in this precarious position that we keep on seeing here, it's not going to be given as a penalty. It's going to be a goal kick in the end. Appreciate the nice comment there, Auntie, as Emmanuel. It's Gabriel Jesus down injured. He's back to a prime position. He's going to be okay, but certainly Robert Sanchez can consider himself a lucky boy. And as Kwa mentioned, Robert Sanchez will get his 4th clean sheet and lead the Golden Glove race. Of course, 4 clean sheets inside of his first 9 Premier League games, conceding 7 goals in that time. Not a bad start for the former Brighton man. Played every single minute so far in the league for Chelsea this season, the 25-year-old. Gabriel Jesus is back up and running. No real more complaints for any kind of spot kick, but it's an interesting one. Be interested to get your thoughts in the comment section, whether or not that's a law that maybe needs to be looked at in terms of the officiating, because like I say, if it's anywhere else on the pitch, it's a free kick. But it's because it's that grey area with the goalkeeper and the attacker, or whoever the forward player is. They come steaming through, they take out everything, they take out their own defender, they take out everything inside. It's never going to be given. So it's an interesting one to really have a discussion over, but nonetheless, Chelsea move forward here on the halfway line now with the Argentinian Enzo Fernandez looking for that switch of play towards Raheem Sterling, but taken down there by Tomiyasu. And since he's come on off the bench, he's done really, really well, has Tomiyasu, just stepping in for Alexander Zinchenko. There's a lot of players warming up out on that touchline just by the east stand, as Gabriel moving forward on this left-hand side, where Declan Rice can try and skip past the challenge coming in from Raheem Sterling. Gabriel takes over instead, as William Saliba has it in the middle of the pitch in towards Jorginho. Chelsea putting a bit of pressure on them Arsenal players, but Arsenal keeping the ball really, really well, as you can see there too who would your man of the match be so far in this game. It's an interesting question. Do you get your thoughts in the comment section? You can see a couple of you there cheering on Arsenal, hoping for them to try and build a way back into this game. They've yet to have a shot on target so far in the opening, just past the hour mark. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0. Ben White now moving it in towards the middle of the pitch now with David Raya playing it out towards this left-hand side where Gabriel can try and move forward. The former Lille man back towards David Raya again, needs to be a little bit careful. Cole Palmer is sniffing at his heels, he is, as he was able to snap at them earlier as Conor Gallagher puts a bit of pressure on William Saliba, and it's going to be an Arsenal throw on this right-hand side. Ben White to come over and take this one. And Arsenal just they started really, really quickly in terms of after going down 2-0 from that mikel and Mudryk, really that left-footed effort from him. However, they've just slowed down for a second, and now Chelsea are just building their way back in towards this second half. Gusto now on this right-hand side. Raheem Sterling at 35-40 yards from the Arsenal goal. Caicedo now in towards the former Lyon man, Malo Gusto. And they were saying, so where's Thomas Partey? Thomas Partey on the bench for Arsenal today. Of course, the holding midfielder. I doubt we'll see him play, to be honest. We might see him come on maybe for Jorginho, but Arsenal really do need some more attacking outlets. So you'll be looking towards the likes of Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, Leandro Trossard, Emil Smith-Rowe. And of course, the former Chelsea man, the man that won the Champions League, really, with that Champions League winning goal against Manchester City. Kai Havertz also on the bench. Should he come on, he'll make his 100th Premier League appearance. 25 minutes to play in this game in West London. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0, with some Gabriel Martinelli moves it in towards Tomiyasu. Nice bit of play there by the two of them. Martinelli in behind of Malo Gusto inside of the Chelsea penalty area now, about 20 yards away from Robert Sanchez's goal. Whips it in with that left foot of his. Cucurella taking the safe precautionary clearance, heading it out to touch. It's going to be another Arsenal corner. Arsenal, who have had a lot of corners so far in this game, just not really putting any of them to massive use. So as we are going to see the first substitution for Chelsea in this game. Mudryk's day is over, and you'd have to be said he has had a fantastic game as Mudryk, and Nicholas Jackson is going to come on, so you'd assume that Cole Palmer goes out towards that left hand side. Sterling stays right, and Mudryk departs for Nicholas Jackson. A really good display from Mudryk. He's been really impressive in this game, but his work is over. Nicholas Jackson will lead the Chelsea line for the remaining 25 minutes of this game, as he's coming on the number 15 for Chelsea. So no Armando Broja today. Of course, that should be mentioned. The Albanian is out, picked up a slight knock, I do believe, and of course he's a number of many Chelsea players out injured at the moment. As again, this Arsenal corner, we're just waiting for bukayo Saka to stand over this one. He whips it in towards the middle, cleared away by Chelsea, and they can race forward here. This could be a play there by Chelsea. This is in. Nicholas Jackson is in behind for half a second. David Ray was able to just intervene, and half a chance